Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Seth and welcome back to another guide, folks. Today in this video I'm going to show you how to tame a Spinosaurus in Ark Survival Ascended. So as you can see, there's a Spinosaurus behind me. I'm going to try and tame that, and I'm going to show you how to build a trap to catch the Spinosaurus, as well as everything else that you will need to know with regards to taming a Spinosaurus in Ark Survival Ascended. Of course, the creatures have had an AI change, so we will cater for that. First things first, you will need exceptional kibble to tame it if it's a high level, but you can also use raw mutton, raw prime fish meat, and raw prime meat to tame it if you choose to do that. I recommend using the kibble for high levels. You will need a saddle to ride it, and it is a knockout tame, so that means we'll need to trap it and knock it out. To knock it out, you can either use the crossbow with the trank arrows or the long neck rifle with the trank darts. And let's have a look at the saddle. You can learn the saddle at level 71, and you will need 45 cementing paste, 380 hide, and 200 fiber and 25 silica pearls to craft it. It can be crafted in the smithy. As I said, this is a knockout tame, meaning we'll need to knock it out. So you will also need narcotics if you're doing this on official server, so do come prepared for this. First things first, let's make the area clear. We'll need a bit of space. Generally speaking, you will want a fairly flat surface to do this on. It does help, especially with the changes in AI. So I'll just clear this out, and then I'll get to showing you how to build a trap. Right, with everything cleared out, this is the trap, and this is what it's going to look like. So we're going to start with some pillars. We'll do a vertical pillar like this, and this will be to center it. Then we'll go for the horizontal pillars, 2 on either side. At the end of each, we'll do vertical pillars. Then from there towards us at a 90-degree angle, we'll do 2 pillars, and then another vertical pillar right at the end. So we'll do the same thing on the other side as well. I have accidentally short of thrown my Microraptor onto the floor, but that's fine. Things do happen. And one into the ground right there. So that is part of the trap. We're going to pick up the horizontal pillars and just leave the vertical pillars once I pick up my Microraptor. So we'll do this, and you can see right here that I'm picking up these pillars. We don't need the one in the center anymore. That was just to center it, but we'll leave it there for now. Okay, and we'll pick this one up as well. So when you look at it, you'll see that there are a total of 4 pillars with a distance of 2 pillars between each pillar in a square shape. Next up, we're going to add a few more pillars. So we're going to do this starting from this pillar right here. We're going to do the horizontal pillars like this at a 90-degree angle and end it with a vertical pillar into the ground. That will be the support for the ramps that we'll use to get the Spino into the trap when the trap is finished. We'll pick up these pillars at the 90-degree angle, and this is what you'll end up with. Now we're going to need to build up the trap. We are going to start with the far end. We're going to go with 3 pillars tall, so a total of 4 pillars height like that. Then the next ones will be 2, so a total of 3 pillars height. We will place a pillar at the last one, which I have accidentally placed there, but that is basically what you'll end up with. Now let's get the ramps out, and we will attach the ramps to the smallest pillar. We want ramps on either side of it going into the ground. We don't want to place the ramps above the pillar because that does seem to affect the AI's ability to actually fall into the trap. I'm not sure exactly how it changes the AI, but it does seem to make it a bit more complicated for us to kite the Spino into it. Plus, it's just as effective this way. So that is pretty much the trap. This is what it looks like. Fairly simple, fairly cost effective, and fairly effective at catching a Spino. Now I'm going to show you how to kite the Spino into the trap. So once you've got the Spino that you want to get into the trap, we do need to try and kite it from the direction of the ramps like this. So what the secret is here is you want to fly quite fast and have the Spino behind you. Try and land at the end of the trap, and you see that the Spino has pretty much got itself trapped in there. Now do bear in mind that it may take a couple of attempts for this to work, just because of the way the Spino is. Generally speaking, the Spino was a bit shifty to begin with, plus the changes in AI with the pathfinding and everything. Sometimes it may take a few attempts, so do be prepared for that. Have a good mount that you're going to use to kite the Spino. Make sure you have plenty of health on that mount. Generally speaking, I prefer using a flyer just because it is more convenient, and from here on it's just a case of taming the Spino. Do make sure that the environment is safe as well. You don't really want to be caught off guard when you are trying to knock it out. I'm going to be using the long neck rifle for the purposes of knocking it out. And with a bit of patience, you will have a knocked out Spino. I generally recommend starving it until it's ready to tame. When you're happy with the Spino, you can start putting food in it. Now, with regards to the trap really doesn't offer any protection. It is just that. It's just a simple system to keep the Spino in place while you knock it out safely. So, generally speaking, I like to try and remove everything because it has no other purpose. It's pretty much served its purpose. You can do it after you've tamed the Spino if you want to, and I would also recommend using spiked walls to protect it. And with a bit of patience and food in its inventory, you will have yourself a Spino that has been tamed. This is the best way and most efficient way that I've found currently to tame Spinos in Ark Survival Ascended. And as always, after you've tamed the Spino, don't forget to remove the food out of its inventory. That is pretty much it. That is the best way I've found to tame Spinos with the current changes in the game. Hopefully you guys find this useful and informative. If you have, please don't forget to support me on the channel by hitting that like button, share, comment, and subscribe. And why not, let me know how your taming experience goes with the strap. Any suggestions and advice I will take on board, and I will of course redo this guide if needed. As I said, the Spino is one of the more shiftier creatures to try and trap just because of its mechanics as well as the AI mechanics. But it does work in the end. It might take a couple of attempts. Just be patient with it and just keep trying, and eventually you will get yourself a Spino. As always, until next time, stay safe, folks.